for our introduction to beginners Brazilian samba is on none other than the fantastic art of posing. So, I know that most of you know how to strike a bit of a pose, especially after you've had a glass of champagne too. But what we're going to do is learn the correct technique for posing in dance, because what often happens is we'll throw ourselves into a pose and we won't have correct technique and end up falling over and losing our balance. So poses are really important for samba, not only for taking photos, but also when we're in the middle of dancing. If the drummers stop or if there's a break in the music, we can take a pose and strike one just to get our breath back. So it's a really good opportunity to be able to breathe and look beautiful at the same time without being like getting into a position like this. So let's have a look at posing technique. So what's very important for me when I teach my students is we don't ever want to have our legs apart. So no open legs, okay? Always in any pose we want to think about closing the legs. So I'll teach you a few different pose base positions that I like to use. So the same as what happened in our beginners session on our hebola and our hips from side to side, we had a pivot leg that we moved around with, okay? It's the same technique for posing. We have a pivot leg or a base leg for our pose. So you can decide whether or not you want to use your right leg or your left leg, whatever feels comfortable for you. So we're never ever going to pose with our legs apart or apart. I'm always going to draw a leg in, and even when my leg is drawn in, the knees aren't out to the side. I want to try and squeeze the knees in. So a really basic first pose is just to have feet together, and then we're going to bring the weight to one hip and bring the opposite knee in. So from the back, I'm drawing in. So pushing the hip out to the side and drawing in. Where my hip is where my weight is. So I should be able to lift up this opposite leg, and this is where I can start to do some really nice different things with that leg. So either left leg in front or right leg in front to begin with. Then we're also going to turn our body to the side. So we're going to turn to the side, and same thing, we're either going to bend the right leg or bend the left leg. I personally don't love the left leg or the back leg being open. I think it's a nicer line to have the front leg here, okay? And switching sides, but it's all about personal preference with posing, because posing is about confidence and it's about doing it with 100% of your energy and your enthusiasm to really make the audience or people around you believe that you are killing it, okay? So poses, and one thing I always say about poses, it's all or nothing, okay? So we can't just do a pose, we need to strike a pose. That's why it's called strike a pose, it needs to be strong. So whatever feels good for you, but make sure that you use correct technique and you have your balance. So we can also turn on the side here, same thing. We can have the front knee or the back knee bent. When I'm doing a pose on the side, I don't want to have my body also facing the side. So I'm going to turn the torso always to face the front. So when I'm facing the front here, my torso is here. But as soon as I turn my body to the side, I want to have my hips facing the side, but I want to draw the body to face the front. So these are little tips as well if you're having work portraits done, if you've got a wedding coming up, if you're going to any particular party and you need to stand in a pose. Often we look back on photos and say, oh my gosh, you look terrible in that. So these are little tips that you can take with you to pose in your everyday life as well. Obviously not the big dramatic ones we're going to use in samba, but in particular when it comes to posture, you can use this as a base for how you pose in photos. Okay, so let's have a look at our front base. So our weight's on the back leg, we're drawing either the right leg or the left leg in. We've got our samba posture here, so our shoulders are back, our chest is up, we're drawing the rib cage and the belly in, and we're bending into that back knee. I should be able to lift up that front foot, and I've got all my balance on the back leg. So with poses, I like to work with 3 levels for our arms. We're going to work with arms around the hips, arms around the chest, and arms above the body. So to begin with, I'm going to pop my hands on my hips. Remember, we want to have really nice long fingers all the time in samba, so no claw hands. So when I place my hands on my hips, I don't want to do fists, I don't want to do claw fingers. So nice long lengthened fingers. I use my thumb and I place it behind. Okay? So I can have hands on hips, I can have one hand off, posing is you want to make sure that your wrists and your fingers are up. So we never want to drop the wrists down and have the hands down. So we want to think about lifting the wrists. Imagine that we're placing the wrists on a tabletop and we can't drop the wrists down. So keep the wrists up. So when I'm placing the wrists here, I want to imagine fingers going up. Okay, so I can either have hands on one hip, on both, or out. Then I'm going to work with the upper body. So I'm going to bring the hands to the chest. I can either extend for my normal pose, I can place down the hands, or palms coming up. Remember the same thing, you want to squeeze between the shoulder blades, lengthen and extend. No chicken wings, no Titanic, okay? No transformer arms. So we want to really try and have really nice soft arms here, but I'm squeezing between the shoulder blades. So from the back, one hand or two hands, both, open and place. I can bring one hand to the hip and open, or down, extend and open and down. Then I want to bring the hands above the head. It's really important in Samba and any type of dance that when we pose, if we take the hands above the head, we don't bring the shoulders with us. So I want to, again, squeeze between the shoulder blades and draw the shoulder blades down so that my arms are extended, but I don't lose my neck. I want to have a really nice long neck. So arms are coming up. We're either doing our wine glass or our champagne glass, as I like to call it. So we're bringing the hands in, or we're turning the hands out. And again, no bent arms, no straight YMCA arms. So wine glass, champagne glass, pulling up through the chest. And then we can do a variation of all of those different poses. So I can have hands on hips, hands on either side, extension, extension, both arms out, up, one arm, etc. So start to play with that base and those arms. We can also then turn the body on the side. So as I turn the body on the side, I can either have the leg here, or I can lengthen it out in front. Okay, I want to sit into that, so that back leg again is my base leg. I should be able to pick up this front leg. Now remember what I was saying before about our body facing the front. We want to turn the body to face the front. We're going to bend into the hips, and I'm going to give you a little trick to give you that Brazilian booty. So we're going to tilt the pelvis back. So as we tilt the pelvis back, suck the belly in, and suddenly you've gone from no booty to Brazilian booty. Okay, and then we're going to frame the hips in any number of those poses that we've been working on. Remember again though, you don't want any poses with arms in front of the face. We want to make sure that the face is all nice and beautiful. So same thing, on left, turn the body to face the front, sink into the back hips. We want to tilt the pelvis, extend any arms that feel good for you. You can draw the foot up, draw the arm up. You can extend the leg in front, extend the leg in front. You can bring the weight forward and open, forward and open, or you can sit back into the movement as well. Sit back. So the idea is you want to practice these in front of the mirror because everyone's body is different. I'm tall, I've got long arms and long legs, so I need to really lengthen but sit down into it, otherwise I look enormous. If you're a bit shorter, you need to really try and reach up, but don't forget about your neck. You want to squeeze down. So really play in the mirror, have a look and see what position looks good for you. Remember, you want to tuck the tummy in, and if there's any other variations that feel good for you, go ahead and do them. Now, finally, with our arms, we want to make sure that they're nice and strong and that we place them. So I don't want to just throw out an arm for a pose. I've already decided when I go to pose where exactly my arm is going to stop. So if I bring the arms out, I already know that I'm going to stop here and stop here. So I squeeze between the shoulder blades to finish that movement. So I never just pose and let the arms keep on going. Same thing. Pose, 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 I'm placing the hands, place. And also, I like to do a little preparation step before I pose. So I don't just throw my arms out. I like to draw the hands in and place. Or in and place. Or in and place. But it's up to you. Again, posing is all about your own personal style, what feels good for you. Take a look online as well, any of your favorite stars like Beyonce, Dina Von Teese, the women that inspire you. Have a look at how they pose, and you want to bring your own personality into posing. So let's try a little bit with music, and then I want you to practice at home in front of the mirror for me. Okay, so let's take a look at doing some poses to music. So find your base, whether or not you want your right leg or your left leg in front, and we'll go from behind. So sit, right arm out, draw in. Left arm out, bring it in. Let's go, both. Both. And in. Switching sides. We'll extend and open. Draw in. Extend. Open. Draw in. And together. Extend. And open. And in. Arms up. And down. And open. And out. And down. Together. Open. And out. Down. Open. Up. Down. Open. And up. Down. And open. Up. Down. And open. And up. And turning on the side. So right leg in front, bending down. Take that booty back. And pose. And pose. Pose. And open. And up. And up. Drawing the leg up. Keep it connected. Coming forward. Forward. And open. And we're going to step back. Back. And open. Other side. Sit. Extend. Open. Up. Draw up. Out. Forward. Open. Sit back. Open. Down. And any other poses that feel comfortable for you. Okay? So make sure the rule for posing 100% or nothing. So make sure you do it with a big smile, chin lifted, confidence, power, happy posing. Mwah. There's yours.